The galaxy was silent the moment the call arrived. On the bridge of the human starship UHS Valiant, every screen flickered with the same strange message, an unreadable symbol spinning in a slow red circle. It pulsed like a heartbeat. It crackled like a whisper from the void. And even though nobody understood it, everyone felt the same thing. It was a call for help. A desperate one. The Valiant had been traveling through the outer sectors, far beyond safe routes, when the signal appeared out of nowhere. No known communication network could explain it. It wasn't human. It wasn't from allied species. It wasn't even from any mapped region of the galaxy. It came from Dominion space, the most feared empire in the galaxy. Captain Ryan Hale walked to the main screen, eyes fixed on the spinning red symbol. He had seen many strange signals in his career, but this one felt different, heavy, old, desperate. "Where is it coming from?" he asked. Lieutenant Mara Vale's fingers moved across her console. Her voice was steady, but her hands shook. "Deep inside the Red Nebula, sir, well past the Dominion border." The bridge went quiet. Everyone knew what that meant. The Dominion never asked for help. They demanded it, they ordered it, but they never ever called for it. And yet this signal was begging. Captain Hale felt the crew's eyes on him. They were waiting for him to decide, turn back, ignore it, report it to command. But Hale was not built like that. He couldn't ignore a distress call, even from an enemy. "Record everything," he said quietly. "Play it again." The red symbol repeated its slow cycle, pulse, pulse, pulse. Then a sudden burst of static, then something that sounded almost like a voice, but twisted and broken, then silence. "What do you think it is?" Mara asked. Hale moved closer to the screen. "Someone is in trouble, and they are inside Dominion territory." Ensign Drift swallowed hard. "Sir, if we cross their border, we know," Hale said. Crossing meant death. The Dominion had destroyed entire fleets for less. Their borders were sacred, unbroken for centuries, but the signal kept pulsing. Faint, weak, dying. Someone needed help. "Put it on external speakers," Hale ordered. Mara hesitated. "Sir, we don't know what it is. It could be a trap." "It could be," he said. "But humanity answers calls for help. Always." The sound filled the bridge, a low hum, shaking like a wounded heartbeat. It seemed almost alive, almost pleading. Then came the broken voice again, clearer this time, but still distorted. "They are coming, need help." The crew exchanged fearful looks. Something or someone inside Dominion space was running from something even worse. Hale straightened. "Helm, set course toward the signal." The crew froze. Lieutenant Dara Jin whispered, "Sir, that means crossing the border." "Yes," Hale said, "it does." "But the Dominion," Drift began. "The Dominion can yell at us later," Hale cut in. "Right now someone is calling for help, we answer." There was silence for a long moment. Then Mara nodded slowly. Dara nodded too. Even Drift nodded, pale but determined. Humans never turned away from a desperate call. "Course plotted," the helm officer said softly. "Engage," Hale ordered. The engines roared to life, and the Valiant turned toward the glowing red nebula. The same nebula aliens whispered about in fear, the same nebula from which no ship had returned. The border. As the Valiant approached the Dominion frontier, the stars dimmed. The nebula ahead stretched like a red storm, swirling with lightning-like energy patterns. Dominion buoys floated at the edge, black metal spheres covered in blinking eyes. "They're scanning us," Dara reported. "They know we're here." Hale watched the screen. "Let them watch." The Valiant slowed as it reached the final line, an invisible wall that separated free space from Dominion territory. Every ship that ever crossed without permission had disappeared. No wreckage, no signals, just silence. "Sir," Mara whispered, "last chance to turn back." Hale smiled slightly. "You know me better than that." The crew held their breath. "Cross the line," he said. The Valiant glided forward. For 3 long seconds, nothing happened. Then all the Dominion boys turned their lights toward the Valiant at once, glowing like angry red eyes. A warning alarm echoed across the bridge. "Dominion transmission incoming," Dara shouted. On screen, Hale said. The image appeared instantly, an armored alien with metallic skin and burning silver eyes, a Dominion overseer. You have crossed the sacred boundary, the overseer growled. Human vessel, turn back now. Hale stayed calm. We received a distress signal from inside your space. There is no distress signal, the overseer snapped. You lie. Mara cut in, we can send the data. Silence, the overseer hissed. You trespass, leave or be destroyed. Hale folded his arms. Destroy us then, or let us help whoever called. The overseer blinked in shock. No species spoke to him like that. You risk war, the alien said slowly. No, Hale replied. We answer a call for help. That is all. The overseer stared for a long moment. Then the transmission cut. The screen went black. The crew waited for weapons fire. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 nothing. Are they letting us pass? Drift whispered. No, Hale said softly. They are waiting. The red nebula. When the Valiant entered the nebula, the ship's lights dimmed. Strange energies swirled around them, blue arcs, red fog, floating particles that looked like drifting embers. It's beautiful, Mara whispered. And deadly, Dara added. Sensors are losing accuracy. Something is interfering. The distress call grew louder, more urgent. They took. Everyone help, please. Isolate the voice, Hale ordered. Mara worked quickly. It's changing. The signal sounds more human now, but it isn't human. Someone trying to mimic our frequency, Hale asked. Maybe, Mara said, or maybe the signal is adapting to match us. Either answer was terrifying. Get us closer, Hale said. The ship pushed deeper into the nebula. The red clouds thickened. Shadows moved within them like dark shapes swimming through water. Then something huge passed in front of the ship. The bridge lights flickered. Sir, Drift shouted. Something massive is blocking our path. Visuals on screen, Hale barked. The main screen activated and everyone gasped. A colossal Dominion warship drifted out of the red fog. Its hull was cracked, burned, torn open in several places. Black scorch marks covered its sides. Its engines were dead. Its lights were dark. A ghost ship. My God, Mara whispered. What happened to them? Scan for life, Hale ordered. Dara shook her head. I can't. The sensor interference is too strong. The distress call grew louder, almost screaming. Help, help, help us. It's coming from that ship, Mara said. They moved closer. The Dominion ship was silent, dead, yet the signal was still alive. Prepare a boarding team, Hale said. Humans don't abandon people in trouble. Drift swallowed hard. Even Dominion people, sir. Even them. The silent ship, the human boarding team entered the Dominion ship through a massive tear in its hull. Their lights cut through the darkness, revealing twisted metal, shattered corridors, and empty armor suits lying like broken shells. Something terrible had happened here. The air was filled with fine dust, drifting like ash. This place is a graveyard, Lieutenant Mara said. Stay alert, Hale replied. Whatever did this might still be here. They moved deeper. Their footsteps echoed. Every Dominion crew member they found was dead, some frozen in fear, others burned, others missing. What kind of weapon does this? Drift whispered. Not a weapon, Hale said softly. A predator. A sudden sound echoed from the darkness, a low, dragging noise. Everyone turned. Lights pointed down the corridor. Something moved behind the shadows. Something fast, something quiet, something watching them. The distress signal activated again, but this time it wasn't distant. It came from the corridor ahead. A small figure stumbled out of the darkness and collapsed at their feet. It wasn't human, it wasn't Dominion. It was something else entirely. A thin, pale creature with glowing blue lines across its skin. It looked weak, starving, terrified. Its eyes were wide and human-like, but filled with some kind of liquid light. I had to speak. Please help. Then it passed out. Mara knelt beside it. Sir, I think this is who called us. Hale looked at the creature, then at the dark corridor behind it where something big was still moving. We're not leaving anyone behind, he said. Bring it with us. As they lifted the creature, the ship shook. A deep rumbling echoed through the hull. Drift whispered, trembling, Sir, I think whatever killed the Dominion is on the way back. Hale spoke calmly. Then we move. Now? The team started running back toward their airlock. Behind them, something roared in the darkness, loud, alien, hungry. The Valiant had crossed into the Dominion, but what they found was worse than the Dominion itself. As the humans carried the strange creature back to safety, Hale looked once more into the shadows behind them. Whatever lived in that nebula was coming, and it was coming fast. A cold silence filled the Valiant's medical bay as the strange creature lay on the examination table. Blue lines on its skin pulsed weakly, like fading veins of light. It was breathing, barely. Captain Ryan Hale stood nearby, watching the medical team work. The creature looked fragile, almost childlike, but something about it felt old, ancient, as if it carried memories far older than the Dominion itself. Dr. Kara Solis leaned over the creature. Its biology is unlike anything I've seen. It's not Dominion, not human, not in any database. Is it dangerous? Hale asked. Everything in this nebula seems dangerous, she said softly, but this one, I think it's afraid. The creature suddenly shivered, glowing lines flickering. Then it whispered, "They're coming." The room fell silent. Hale stepped closer. "Who is coming?" The creature opened its eyes. They were bright blue, glowing like stars trapped in water. Its voice trembled. "They eat light, they hunt everything. They hunted us first, then the Dominion." Before Hale could ask more, the ship shook violently. An alarm blared through the hallway. "Captain to the bridge," Dara Jin's voice shouted over comms. Now, Hale ran. The arrival when Hale reached the bridge, the main screen was already showing the threat. Something enormous was emerging from the red fog. Not a ship, not a creature, not anything the galaxy had ever seen. It looked like a floating shadow, a black mass swallowing light itself. Parts of it shifted like smoke, while other parts were sharp like claws. It moved without sound, without heat, without any normal energy signature. It was like a tear in reality. "What is that?" Mara whispered. "No readings," Dara said, voice shaking. "Sensors can't identify it. It's not metal, not organic, not energy. It's nothing and everything." Shadow drifted closer to the dead Dominion ship the humans had just boarded. Its form expanded, wrapping around the wreck like a giant hungry fog. The lights on the Dominion ship flickered. Then the entire ship crumbled to dust. Not exploded, not melted. It simply turned into floating gray powder. Drift stared in horror. It ate the ship. Hale's jaw tightened. "Get us out of here, now." But as the Valiant powered engines, the shadow turned toward them. It sensed them. It smelled them. It moved. The chase full speed. Hale ordered. The Valiant shot forward, engines roaring, pushing through thick clouds of red mist. The shadow followed. It didn't fly, it drifted, glided, flowed like ink underwater, but it moved faster than any engine. Every time it passed through a nebula cloud, the cloud dimmed, sucked dry of light. "It's draining the nebula," Dara said, "like it feeds on energy." "Or life," Mara added. The creature's warning echoed in Hale's mind. "They eat light." Another alarm sounded. "They're matching our speed," Drift shouted. "It's gaining on us." Hale stepped forward. "Divert all power to the engines." "That'll fry the coils," Dara warned. "Do it." The Valiant jumped ahead, engines burning hot white. For a moment they gained distance. But then the shadow split into two smaller shadows, then four, then 8. Each one chasing, weaving through the fog like silent hunters. "They're multiplying," Mara breathed. "Captain, how do we fight something that doesn't have a body?" Hale didn't answer because he didn't know. The creature speaks. The lights on the bridge flickered. A soft blue glow appeared behind them. The creature had arrived. It stood weakly in the doorway, holding onto the wall for support. But its eyes, its glowing blue eyes, were focused and clear. "You cannot escape them," it said quietly. "But you can confuse them." Mara turned. "Confuse them how?" "They follow light," the creature said. "They smell energy, heat, fear, movement. They eat all of it." Hale took a step toward it. "What are they?" The creature swallowed. "We called them the Null because they leave nothing behind." "You sent the distress call," Hale said. "Yes, my people were the first to find them. We lived inside this nebula. We fed on its energy. We built our homes in its light." Its voice cracked. And then the null came. They took everything. They took everyone. The shadows behind them screeched an unnatural sound like metal bending underwater. Dara shouted, "Captain, they are almost on us." Hale turned to the creature. "If they follow light, how do we hide?" The creature pointed at the nebula clouds outside. "Darken the ship," it said. "Shut down the lights, shut down engines, make the Valiant go still." "Are you insane?" Drift cried. "If we turn everything off, we'll be sitting ducks." The creature shook its head slowly. "You will be invisible." Hale looked at his crew. This was madness, but staying lit meant certain death. "Prepare for blackout," he ordered. The crew obeyed, fear in their eyes. Blackout lights dimmed, screens went dark, engines shut down, the Valiant drifted into silence. The only illumination came from the glowing nebula outside. The shadows stopped. They hung in place, drifting around the Valiant, searching. Their forms twisted and curled like dark snakes hunting prey. "They can't find us," Mara whispered. "No," the creature said, "but they know something is here. They taste the residue." One shadow glided across the Valiant's hull. When it touched the metal, tiny sparks died instantly. "Do not breathe loudly," the creature whispered. "Do not make sudden movement. They feel every change." Another shadow pressed against the viewport glass. It stretched thin, forming a giant black eye. Mara's breath shook. "Please don't break the glass." "They don't break," the creature said. "They consume." The shadow drifted away. Seconds felt like minutes. Minutes felt like years. Then a burst of light flashed deep inside the nebula. The shadows froze, then rushed toward the light, merging into one giant form again. "What was that?" Hale whispered. The creature answered softly, "A Dominion army. They're coming to destroy the null." The Dominion fleet. The screen flickered back to life as emergency power returned. 12 Dominion warships were entering the nebula, massive, armored, bristling with weapons. The Valiant had never seen such a fleet before. "They're here for war," Dara said. "No," Hale said. "They're here to survive." The creature nodded. The Dominion believed they could kill the null. They thought brute force would win. They were wrong. Dominion fleet opened fire, beams of white energy cutting through the red fog. They struck the shadow, and the shadow grew. It absorbed the beams as if they were food, then it lunged. One Dominion ship vanished instantly, sucked dry, collapsing into dust. Another ship exploded. Another was torn in half. The bridge of the Valiant watched in horror as the Dominion fleet was devoured like tiny insects. "They don't stand a chance," Drift said weakly. "No one does," the creature whispered. Hale clenched his fists. "We need to warn them." "You cannot," the creature said. "They will not listen. They never listen to us. Their pride is their weakness." The Dominion flagship attempted a last stand, firing all weapons. The null swallowed the entire ship in seconds. The nebula fell silent again. Mara exhaled. "We need to get out of here before it finds us again." The creature shook its head. "You cannot escape the nebula, not while the null are awake." "Then what do we do?" Hale asked. The creature stepped forward, weak but determined. "You save my people," it said, "if any are still alive." Hale frowned. "Where?" "In the heart of the nebula," the creature said, voice trembling. "Where the null came from, where they sleep, where they grow." "You want us to go deeper?" Drift shouted. "Into that nightmare?" "Yes," the creature said quietly. "Because only humans fight when every other species runs." Hale stared into the red fog outside the window. He had crossed the Dominion border to answer a desperate call. Now there was another call, a deeper one, a darker one, and humanity was the only hope left. Hale nodded slowly. "Then we go," he said. "Prepare the ship. We're entering the heart of the nebula." The creature whispered, "And pray the null stay blind a little longer." The Valiant moved like a silent ghost deeper into the red nebula. Every cloud around them glowed like burning dust. Every shadow looked alive. The engines were running at the lowest power possible, just enough to drift forward without waking the null again. Captain Ryan Hale stood at the center of the bridge, watching the fog thicken outside the viewports. The nebula wasn't just red anymore. Now it shimmered with strange symbols, glowing patterns, and lines of ancient energy that twisted like writing in the air. Lieutenant Mara Vale whispered, "This place, it feels wrong, like it's alive." "It is alive," the strange creature answered quietly. Hale turned. "Explain." The creature's blue eyes dimmed. "This nebula is not just gas and light. It was once a home, a living home. My people shaped it. We grew cities of energy. We lived in harmony with it." "What happened to it?" Hale asked. The creature hesitated. "Something changed. Something woke up." The crew exchanged nervous looks. "You mean the null?" Drift said. "Yes," the creature said, "but they were not always null. Once they were light, pure light. Guardians of the nebula, protectors of my people, but something twisted them, broke them, turned them into darkness." "What twisted them?" Mara asked. The creature didn't answer. It looked away, and that silence was more frightening than any answer. The whispering zone, as the Valiant drifted deeper, the fog turned thin and silver. Strange echoes filled the air, soft whispers, like distant voices calling through water. Dara Jin frowned. "Do you hear that?" Mara nodded slowly. "It sounds like children." One whisper grew louder, clearer. "Help, help, help," Drift shivered. "Please tell me that's not the null." The creature shook its head. "No, these are echoes, memories of my people. The nebula still remembers them." Hale stepped closer to the viewport. In the fog, shapes appeared, faint glowing outlines of tall figures with flowing hair made of light. They walked, spoke, held hands like living ghosts. "They're not real," the creature said softly. "Just echoes, but they will guide us." "Guide us where?" Hale asked. "To the heart," the creature said, "to where everything began." Suddenly the whispers turned sharp, sad, scared, broken. "They came from below, from the dark. Run, run before they see you." The ship shuddered. Something huge passed through the fog behind them, the null, but they did not attack. Not yet. The Guardian marks the Valiant approached, a massive glowing shape, a circular structure floating in the center of the silver fog. It was larger than any space station, made of swirling light and stone-like energy that moved as if alive. "What is that?" Dara whispered. The creature inhaled shakily. "Home." Hale's eyes widened. "Your people built this." "Yes," the creature said. "This is the heart gate. It protects the core of the nebula, or it used to." A deep crack ran through the structure, glowing black like a wound. Mara stared. Something broke it from the inside. The creature nodded. "Yes, and that is when the null changed." The Valiant moved closer. Strange symbols covered the gate, shapes that looked like spirals, triangles, and flowing lines. They pulsed weakly, as if struggling to stay alive. Drift zoomed cameras. "Captain, these symbols, they are reacting to us." The heart gate hummed softly. A beam of pale light reached out and scanned the Valiant from bow to stern. Mara stepped back. "Is it hostile?" "No," the creature said. "It is checking if you are worthy." Hale arched a brow. "Worthy of what?" The creature finally looked up. "To enter the heart, to see the truth, to survive." The heart gate slowly opened. The inner chamber, the Valiant entered a tunnel of swirling light. The walls flickered with visions, memories of the nebula's past. Millions of glowing beings, creatures like the one aboard the Valiant, floated in grand cities made of pure energy. They sang in harmonic waves. They shaped the nebula with their hands. They walked with the Guardians, the beings who would later become the null. "Your people were beautiful," Mara whispered. The creature's voice trembled. "We were happy." But then the visions changed. Dark cracks spread across the nebula. The Guardians twisted, their light turning black, their forms melting into shadows. They screamed without sound. Entire cities collapsed. Creatures tried to flee, but the Guardians swallowed them whole. "What happened?" Hale asked. The creature closed its eyes. "We created something we should not have created." "Created what?" Hale asked. The creature opened its glowing blue eyes. "The core." The core of the tunnel ended, revealing a vast hollow chamber, bigger than planets. In the center floated a spherical object the size of a moon, made of pure energy, but it was split open. Black energy leaked from the cracks like bleeding darkness. That is the core, the creature said, the heart of the nebula. We made it to give life, to grow worlds, to create endless light. But the core broke, Dara said. Yes, the creature whispered. When the core cracked, the Guardians lost their purpose. They lost themselves. They lost their light. And became the null, Hale finished. The creature nodded. The Dominion discovered the broken core centuries ago. They entered the nebula and tried to control it, tried to use it as a weapon, but they awakened the null instead. Mara looked at Hale. So this is all the Dominion's fault? No, the creature said softly. It is ours. We created the core. We failed to protect it. Hale exhaled. So what do you want from us? The creature turned to him. We want humans to fix what we cannot. The bridge fell silent. Drift blinked. Captain, no offense, but how do humans fix a broken star heart? The creature pointed at Hale's chest. Because you are different. Humans are not made of energy. You are not connected to the core. You can touch it without being consumed. Hale stared at the crack in the core. Mara whispered, Captain, you're not actually thinking. But before she finished, the Valiant shook violently. Lights dimmed. Alarms blared. They found us. Dara shouted. The null are here. The black swarm, the shadows poured into the chamber like a flood of black water. They filled every corner, every crack, every path. Hundreds of them, thousands, Mara gasped. There are so many, they smell the core, the creature said. They want to finish what they started. The null screeched, an ear-splitting sound that shook the entire chamber. The core pulsed weakly, trying to protect itself, but it was too damaged. Hale grabbed the rail. If they destroy the core, they will spread, the creature said. Not just through the nebula, through the entire galaxy. The crew stared in horror, cities, planets, stars, all swallowed by shadows. We won't let that happen, Hale said, voice steady. But how do we fight them? Dara demanded. You don't, the creature said. You fix the core. Hale took a deep breath. Tell me what to do. The creature pointed at a glowing platform near the core. You must enter the core's memory field. It will show you its wound. If you can close the wound even a little, the core will heal itself. Enter it, Mara said. Do you mean mentally? Yes, the creature said. Your mind must go into it. Drift's jaw dropped. Sir, that sounds like it'll fry your brain. Hale stepped forward anyway. Humanity didn't come this far to run away. The creature touched Hale's forehead gently. You are brave, it whispered. Braver than we were. The null roared and rushed toward the core. The Valiant's weapons fired. Light clashed with shadow. Hale stepped onto the glowing platform. Everything turned white. For Captain Ryan Hale, the world disappeared in a flash of white. One moment he was standing on the glowing platform near the broken core. The next, he floated inside a vast, empty space that had no up or down, no floor or sky. It was like standing in the middle of a dream that refused to fully form. Hale breathed slowly. Hello, he called into the emptiness. His voice echoed, then twisted, then came back sounding like 1,000 copies of himself whispering at once. He turned. There was nothing. Just white light, endless white light, stretching in every direction like an unfinished universe. Then something moved. A thin silver crack sliced across the air like someone cutting the world open with a knife. Light spilled out of the crack, beautiful, warm, golden light. At the same time, a second crack appeared, but this one leaked black smoke like cold fire. Hale stared at both. Two sides, he whispered, light and dark. A soft voice spoke behind him. No, life and death. Hale turned sharply. A figure stood 10 feet away, a glowing being of pure energy, shaped like the creature the Valiant rescued, but taller, older, brighter. Its form flickered with colors Hale couldn't name. Its eyes shone like two small suns. Are you one of the creature's people? Hale asked. The being tilted its head. I am what remains of them. I am the core's memory, the voice of this place. You're alive? Hale asked. No, the being said calmly. Not alive, not dead. I am a memory that refuses to fade. It stepped closer. And you human have entered a place no human was meant to stand. Hale steadied himself. Your friend said we could help fix the core. Being studied him silently for a moment. That is possible, but only if you understand the wound. What wound? Hale asked. The being raised a hand. The white space cracked apart like glass shattering around them. The first vision, Hale now stood inside a vast glowing city made of drifting shapes and light. Creatures of energy floated through the air, laughing, talking, working. Towers of living light rose into the sky like pillars of crystal. The core being spoke beside Hale. This was our world, our home. We lived in peace. He watched as the glowing beings shaped the nebula with gentle hands, bending energy like clay. Then shapes descended from the sky, larger beings made of bright white light. They were majestic, tall, elegant. Their bodies radiated warm energy that pushed the darkness away. "Those are the guardians," Hale whispered. "Yes," the core being said with sadness. "Our protectors. They kept the nebula stable. They kept us safe." The scene changed. The warm white glow of the guardians dimmed. Black cracks spread across their bodies. White turned to gray, gray turned to black. They screamed soundless screams. Then the visions shifted again. The guardians became shadows, alive, hungry, crawling across the nebula like a spreading storm. Hale watched the glowing city collapse as the null devoured everything. His fists tightened. Why did they change? What caused that? The core being did not answer with words. Instead, the world cracked again. The second vision, Hale now floated at the center of a circular chamber inside the core itself. Dozens of glowing beings stood in a circle, hands raised, forming a massive sphere of energy, the core. They chanted in an unknown language. Energy stabilized, light gathered, stars formed in miniature. But beneath the structure, a small crack appeared, barely visible, just a hairline fracture in the energy sphere. The core being whispered. That was the first mistake. The crack grew, slowly at first, then faster. Black smoke oozed from the fracture and reached upward like a claw. When it touched a guardian, the guardian's light faded. "Your people built something too powerful," Hale said softly. "And when the core broke, your guardians broke too." "Yes," the core being said. "We created life, but also created death. We made power without understanding the consequences." The sphere shattered. Darkness flooded the chamber. Hale reached out instinctively, but the vision dissolved. Back in the white space, Hale stood again in the empty white world. The core being faced him. "Now you understand the wound." "What do you want me to do?" Hale asked. "How can I fix something this massive?" "You cannot fix the core," the being said, "but you can awaken its restart sequence. You can close the main fracture." "And what happens if I do?" Hale asked. The being paused. "If the core restarts, the nebula may be reborn. Light may return. The null may sleep again. And if I fail," the being's eyes dimmed. "Then the null will awaken fully, and they will consume not only this nebula but every star they find." Hale took a breath. "Tell me how." The being pointed to the silver crack in the air. "That fracture connects directly to the core's memory wound. Touch it and your mind will enter the deepest part of the core." "And the black crack?" Hale asked. "That is the shadow fracture, the birthplace of the null. Touch it and you may not return." Hale stepped toward the silver crack. Then the entire white space trembled violently. The null invaded the core. A ripping screech echoed across the realm, a sound colder than metal breaking and sharper than broken glass. Hale spun around. Shadows poured into the white space through invisible tears. Hundreds, thousands, the null. "How did they get in here?" Hale shouted. "They sensed you," the core being said. "Your human mind shines like a beacon inside the core." The shadows swarmed, swallowing light as they moved. Hale backed toward the silver crack. "Captain Hale." A voice echoed through the space. He turned. It was Lieutenant Mara Vale, her glowing form flickering. Somehow her mind had connected to his via the medical link. "Captain, the null outside are attacking the Valiant. We're losing shields." More flickering. "Dara is injured. Drift is holding them off," but her voice broke. Static, then silence. Hale's heart tightened. He clenched his fists. "I'm coming back," he told the core being. "No," the being said. "If you return now, all is lost. The only chance for your people is to finish the restart." Hale stared at the silver crack, at the black crack, at the null rushing toward him. "Then tell me fast," he said. "What do I do?" The core being raised both hands. The entire white world shifted into a smaller sphere, a glowing orb with two swirling halves, one silver and one black. "This is the core's heart," the being said. "You must repair the silver half by giving it something it has lost." "What?" Hale demanded. "Hope," the being said. "Human hope." Hale blinked. "Hope is not a tool. For humans it is," the being said. "I have seen your people's minds. I have seen your memories. Humans fight when all others surrender. Humans rise when all others fall. Humans believe when hope is gone." The shadows shrieked behind them. "Touch the silver crack," the being said quietly. "Give it your strongest memory, your brightest belief." "What memory?" Hale shouted. The being smiled sadly. "The one that keeps you alive when everything else is dying." Hale turned toward the silver crack. He reached. The null surged toward him. Darkness swallowed the white space. The silver crack pulsed like a living heartbeat as Captain Ryan Hale reached for it. Behind him, the null swarmed like a living storm, black, silent, endless. Their forms curled and twisted as if they could smell the warmth of his mind. The core being's voice echoed urgently, "Touch it, human, before they reach you." Hale stretched his hand forward, and the instant his fingers touched the glowing crack, the entire world exploded into light. The memory space he fell, not physically, but mentally, down a long tunnel made of glowing fragments. Each fragment was a memory spinning past him like shards of broken mirrors. Childhood laughs, old fears, moments of loneliness, moments of triumph. The core being's voice whispered inside the tunnel, "Find the strongest memory. The one that saved you, shaped you, made you more than fear." The memories flew past faster. Hale saw his mother's face. His first school. His first time seeing Earth from orbit. The moment he joined the Navy. The day he became captain. But none of those felt right. Something else called him. A deeper memory, a darker one. The tunnel bent sharply, and Hale suddenly stood in a memory he had not visited for years. The mountain memory. Snow fell heavily. A frozen world stretched out below him. Deep ice cracks, screaming winds. A storm raging across the mountains. Young Ryan Hale, barely 17, climbed in the middle of a deadly blizzard. His body was weak. His face was bleeding. His gloves were torn. He shook violently from cold. He climbed anyway, because behind him a younger sister, Isla, was trapped under a fallen wooden tower. He had pulled her free, but her leg was broken. The storm was too strong for rescue ships to land, so Ryan carried her step by step up the mountain through the storm. No food, no help, no warmth except his own. Every breath burned. Every step felt like death, but he kept going because he refused to leave her to die. The real Hale whispered, watching the memory, "Hope, that's hope." Young Hale finally collapsed at the top of the ridge. Snow washed over him, his limbs froze, his heartbeat slowed, he nearly gave up. But Isla had looked up at him, blue lips, tears in her eyes, and whispered, "Don't stop, Ryan, you promised." That word hit older Hale like a beam of sunlight. Promise. The memory froze around him. Core being's voice spoke. "Yes, this is the memory. This is the fire inside you. This is the human spark that the core needs." The memory shattered into thousands of glowing particles that swirled around Hale like a glowing storm. "Take it," the core being urged. "Give the core your fire." Hale grabbed the memory storm in both hands. His entire body burned with energy. Then he thrust the memory into the silver crack. The core awakens. A blast of silver energy shot out of the crack, throwing the null backwards like leaves in a violent wind. The white realm shook violently, trembling like something waking from a long nightmare. The core being gasped. "You did it, the restart sequence has begun." Hale didn't feel triumph, he felt angry, determined. "What happens now?" he demanded. "The core will heal slowly, but the null will try to stop the process. You must return to your world." "How?" Hale asked. "This place is collapsing." A giant tear opened in the white space. Beyond it, Hale could see the Valiant under attack. Dozens of null creatures clawed at its shields. Explosions flickered along its hull. Mara stood on the bridge, shouting orders. Drift fired weapons desperately. Dara carried an injured technician. His crew needed him. The core being placed a glowing hand on Hale's chest. "You must carry part of the core's light with you." "What does that mean?" Hale asked. "This light will defend you and destroy you if you are not careful." "Destroy me," Hale repeated. The being nodded sadly. "Humans were not meant to carry core energy. It burns bright, but it burns fast." Hale took a breath. "I'll carry whatever it takes." The being smiled faintly. "That is why humans are different. That is why you were chosen." Then it pushed him through the tier. Hale fell, returned to the Valiant, and slammed back into his real body on the glowing platform. Mara's voice shouted, "Captain, wake up." He gasped for air. Alarms blared, lights flickered, the ship shook violently. "Status," Hale demanded. Drift turned pale and sweating. "Sir, the null found us the moment the shields dropped. They are everywhere. They're eating through the hull." Hale stood, feeling something strange inside him, a burning energy glowing beneath his skin. His vision flickered with silver sparks. "What's happening to you?" Mara asked, worried. Hale didn't answer. He stepped toward the main viewport. Outside, the nulls swarmed like flying shadows, ripping apart everything they touched. But Hale could feel the core's energy pulsing through him. The creature, still weak, crawled to Hale's side. "You brought the light back," it whispered. "Use it." "How?" Hale asked. "Call to it," the creature said. "The core's light listens to the one who carries it." More null attached themselves to the hull. The ship groaned. Hale raised one hand toward the glass. The burning inside him grew hotter. His fingers glowed. Silver sparks jumped from his skin. He whispered, "I won't let you take my crew." The core energy exploded outward. The light wave, a wave of silver light blasted from Hale's hand and spread across the entire Valiant like a shield. The null shrieked and backed away, their bodies melting like smoke touched by fire. The crew gasped. What did you just do?" Drift whispered. Hale lowered his hand slowly. "I gave them something to fear." Mara stepped closer. "Captain, you're glowing." Hale didn't deny it. He could feel the core energy burning inside him like a second heart. "It won't last," the creature said weakly. "The light will fade, and when it fades, the darkness will return stronger." Drift swallowed. "So what do we do?" Hale turned toward the raging core chamber. "We finish what we started." Dara shook her head. "Sir, there are thousands of null out there. We can't take them all." "We don't need to," Hale said. "We just need to protect the core long enough for the restart to complete." "How long?" Mara asked. The creature answered, 7 minutes. Drift yelled, 7 minutes in this hell." Hale stepped forward. "Everyone to battle stations. Brace for all-out attack." The crew moved. No fear, only determination. For 7 minutes, humanity would stand between light and darkness. The null surged, the null roared as one massive entity. Their bodies merged into a giant shadow, a monstrous shape with dozens of limbs and one massive hollow mouth. It lunged toward the Valiant. Hale raised both hands. Silver light erupted from him like twin suns. "Not today," he shouted. The light hit the shadow like a cannon blast. The creature screamed and recoiled. The crew stared in awe. Mara whispered, "Sir, you're fighting them alone." "No," Hale said. "Humans never fight alone." The Valiant's cannons fired. Drift launched energy flares. Dara activated pulse shields. The rescued alien creature sent out weak but helpful waves of stabilizing light. Together they held the line. Minute 1 passed, minute 2, minute 3. The nulls swarmed harder, stronger, faster. Hale stumbled. His glowing dimmed slightly. The creature cried, "Captain, the light is wearing you down." Hale pushed forward anyway. "Then it will burn me out fighting." Minute 4 passed. Minute 5. The massive null entity opened a new maw and swallowed the entire Valiant in darkness. Hale screamed, silver light burst, and the story ends with, did the core complete the restart, or did the null consume everything?